What's good, everybody? This is Trox.
It's your boy Reese.
What up with your mind?
But you know no good.
This is another episode. I think episode 18. I think we are whole painting manning out here right now.
We are a whole grown man out here.
Hey, we got to start filing taxes on this podcast now.
It's time for you to get your butt up out my house, age.
You got to work or go to school, but you can't sit here and be a fool.
Hey.
Because you are episode 18.
18.
All right, but episode 18, let me go ahead and get this teaser out the way. Reese, if we asked the average American what sport seems the most dangerous to them, what do you think people would typically say?
Survey says football.
Got one?
American style.
I got one tougher than that.
Rugby?
Child's play in comparison.
Then I guess fisticuffs, you know what I'm saying? That M.M.A. Choke a brother out.
Wet cardboard. I'm talking about soft. Makes all of that look soft.
Ain't no way.
It does, because you know what it does? This sport that I'm about to tell y'all about in this episode combines all three of those things together in a legal field. All three of those things together.
Ain't no way, bro. CTE off the chain out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if y'all want to find out what that is, make sure you stick around for episode 18 of the I Don't Be Knowing podcast. But before we do that, if you guys aren't following us on IG, you really need to, and here's why. Reese, what did we just do?
Man, we just did some bonus content, man. If you just listen to the podcast, you're not going to hear it, man. You got to go and follow these social medias and get it there. That's the only way that's going to be, unless somebody bootlegging a mess.
You got to go get it there, because we are not going to post it on our actual page because it's bonus content. We're putting it strictly on our Instagram because we want to meet you all. We want to interact with you all, and we want to see if you all are really rocking with us or not. So make sure you follow us at I Don't Be Knowing on Instagram, and you will get that bonus content. I'll make sure it's the highlighted story specifically for you. But I will tell you, we laughed, we giggled, we embarrassed ourselves, and I got hot. I mean,
I ain't gonna hold y'all. If any of y'all know Trox and me, some of our best content, our funniest mess is off the cuff.
Every time.
And that's what we do. This bonus content is just us kicking it, chilling. But I promise you, hey, be ready to laugh.
And we had a special guest come through just for that segment. But this special guest and Reese were laughing at me because I got a little too hot and had to pull out my little church preacher sweat rag.
Hey, when he pulled that rag out, I went ahead and reached for my wallet because I knew that offering tray was coming around soon.
Well, I'm glad you did, but I don't want your money. I want water, which is what this episode of the podcast is sponsored by. That's right. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by H2O. Stay hydrated, people. Be friends. And if you want to be more than friends with the I Don't Be Knowing podcast, as in you want to be a sponsor, all you have to do is hit us up. We want to find out about your products and see how we can introduce you to our audience. So hit us up on IG, or you can hit us up in the emails. We're looking forward to hearing from you. We are excited to meet you all. Reese, let's get into this. We have a mission today, brother. We are going to take 50 minutes to record today's episode. And that 50 minutes is important because it ties into the game itself that we're going to mention. But before we do that, let's get this theme song out the way, sir. Hey, ooh, hey, ooh, I don't be knowing, and I'm not blowing. My shoulder be hurting. I'm stroking on the going. Quote it. See if they know it. Ask me where that is, and they say, I don't be knowing.
Well, I have to say that Mike didn't help that freestyle.
Well, the thing is, I got a new mic anyway, so I'm going to flex and say what I want to say and play how I want to play, because I got a new blue Yeti from my boy, Reese.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm extremely hyped today. It was approximately Monday, 1 p.m. PST, and I had just got off a phone call at work when the UPS man did a little knocking at the door, And he said, "Hey, is your name Trox?" And I said, "Sure is." And he said, "Here's a mic for you from your boy Reese, all the way in North Carolina." I said, "Thank you." And yeah, I've been messing with this mic ever since. So Reese, thank you, man. That's a good look. I really appreciate that. We should sound a lot better on my end now.
All right.
Thank you for being a friend. All right. So yeah, we're about to get right into this episode. And before we do that, Reese, do you have a reminder for the people today? I think we said at the top of the episode, but go ahead and hit them up one more time. We're looking for people to know how to find us, where to find us, and what to do once they find us.
Hey, interact with us, man. Talk to us. We pretty funny. I mean, no, I ain't toot my own toot. But hey, but talk to us, man. Interact with us, man. We enjoy that. It makes us feel like, you know, we really connecting, you know, and that's what we really want. You know, we want to know what y'all want to talk about, you know what I'm saying? And you know, but hit us up. I don't be knowing on IG, Facebook, YouTube's. We be talking everywhere.
All over the place. We there. If you want to find us, we are there. I actually got hit up a couple times this week after the summer series, which I think were episodes 13 through 17 of people wanting to know how to become a guest on the show. And that's pretty simple as well. If you are a bona fide expert and by your own doing, or if you're well versed in any industry or any field, and you think it would be good for our show, hit us up on the inbox. We're most active on Instagram. We would love to be able to find out how to get you on the show. But also,
even if it's a weird hobby, even if you don't think nobody would care, bring it to the table.
Y'all see this? Do y'all see this? No. I don't know if you can see this. This is my miniature that I'm building right now. All right, it's a bookstore. We need weird hobbies. All weird hobbies matter, darn it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Hey, bring it to the table, man. We trying to know, and and if you feel like people should know about it, this is the platform to hash it out.
Absolutely. And on the other side of that, if you aren't an expert, but you just got a good personality and you want to rock it with us, hit us up. We also have those episodes coming down the road where we all get on this I Don't Be Knowing discovery journey together and go over an episode with a new person who's being educated at the same time we're being educated on a new topic. So hit us up and let us know. One person that is always hitting us up and constantly interacting and showing love to the show, I gotta highlight this dude because he's been one of the nicest, funniest, and quietest kept people I've known since probably, I think, kindergarten, maybe first grade. And we've always just kind of kicked it with each other out of like respect and having the same sense of humor. So King Louis, I'm gonna leave your last name out, but I want you to know, brother, we always appreciate your interactions. Wanted to highlight you today. And Reese, I don't know if you saw it. He left a little comment on our last episode. I'm gonna read it real quick. Okay. And I quote, "Bro, I thought I was going to have to walk out of my office when y'all were talking about wrestling and making the X over your head because there's some wrestler's signature. Then Reese talking about doing it behind the teacher's back, but his wetsuit was on, so she knew what he was doing. Hilarious, man. Appreciate y'all. Episode 17 with Biscuit, Summer Series Part 4 is what he's referring to. And yeah, you'll go back and listen to that. It involves D-Generation X, a windsuit, and a teacher who caught Reese doing something inappropriate. So
I was husky, man. You know, my thighs rubbed together, underarms and stuff.
Yeah, I was a big body too. I ain't gonna hold you. I still have a big body. I'm a what do they call it? I'm a fluctuator, I guess. I'll be yo-yoer. That's what they call it, yo-yoer. So that's that. And then also with the summer series coming to an end, we finally released and published our summer series playlist. By the time this episode drops, it will be very easy to find. And that will involve a collection of songs that were mentioned during our summer series podcast episodes. To find out more about that, go back and listen. But you can find it on Spotify by simply searching IDBK. We will be the only playlist that pops up if you search that. And the title of the playlist is IDBK Summer Series Playlist 2021. So go check it out. Let us know what new songs you're enjoying or what songs took you back. We want to hear all about that as well. Okay, let's get into this episode. Reese, I'm very excited about this topic. Y'all, I'm so excited that we actually went and got a docket again, y'all. We are back on the docket, which means we did the research, which means we're getting back to what we set this podcast out to be. So those of you all who have been rocking with us the whole time, we thank you. Those who are new to the episode, tune in because it's going to get better from here each and every time. Now, let me go ahead and set the tone real quick, guys. In a world where men are kings, where blood and brute are the only things that equal victory, a single ball, 2 goals, and 2 teams of 27 men battle it out to blood, bone-curdling, and sometimes cancellation of life in a game known as CALCIO Storico.
Hey, as dramatic as that was, it's legit. Good Lord.
All right, so in case my bad attempt at 1990s movie trailer voice didn't get you there, what we're talking about is a crazy sport known as CALCIO Storico, and I hope I said that right. But also a couple websites I researched called it ancient football. Here's how it works, guys.
Ain't nothing ancient about it.
Ain't nothing. Well, the uniforms, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Or the lack of, we'll get to that. All right.
I ain't gonna pick on you about it.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to go watch a match. I look talking junk right now.
Yeah, good.
You're funny American, huh? No, I'm not. Okay. So yeah, what this game is, let's get into it. Here's the ABC of it. This game was born in Florence, Italy during the 16th century. It is a brutally violent game that looks exactly like shirtless, padless, helmetless football mixed in with bare knuckle boxing, wrestling, M.M.A, soccer, and I would throw rugby in there. Reese, did I miss any sports?
Hockey
For sure.
Hockey. You gotta throw in some blood and Crip stuff in there because, this is no lie, the most absolute untamed. Why is there a referee out there?
What are you doing out there?
What is he gonna do?
Just what are you doing? Okay.
Okay, this is exactly. I'm gonna paint the scene, and this is perfect. Okay, who remembers when the Pacers were playing the Detroit Pistons?
Malice in the Palace.
And one of them fans threw a drink on that court at Ron Artest. As soon as Ron Artest ran into the stands, that's how that game looks.
Yes, that is exactly how this game looks. Except it's organized and intentional, and it's not man versus crowd. It's men versus men, and the strangest display of a sport I've ever seen. So speaking of the men, this game is so violent, so brutal that it's only played once per year. It's played in June in Florence, and it's played on a large rectangle field made of sand, sweat, and what I would imagine grinded up teeth, blooded up athletic tape, ripped clothes, and definitely blood. The goals on this field are very narrow, and they are as long as the short sides of the rectangle, and it's 2. The team play is set up like this. There are 2 teams of 27 men, and they play a 50-minute match with no substitutions allowed, not even if you're injured. So if you go down, from what I understand, if you go down and you cannot continue to play, then your team just lost a man. That's basically what I'm understanding at this point. The clock never stops, not even for injuries, not for change of possessions, and not for when the ball gets fumbled. Also, the clock doesn't even stop when they change the score. I went back to watch, me and Reese watched a documentary on this together on Netflix called Home Game. It's episode 1. And then Reese and I kind of went our separate ways and did a couple of additional pieces of research. And I went on YouTube and watched some highlights from a 2015 game. I specifically watched to see when somebody scores, how they go and retrieve the ball. And it looked like somebody just ran, jumped over a fence and fell into a pit to get the ball and then throw it back. Nothing about this game is graceful. Nothing.
Yeah, it's almost like the way that they do the clock and the score and stuff like that is like soccer in a sense. You know, soccer, the clock steady rolls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, like I don't know. And these brothers out here doing it for a cow.
Oh, I was getting there, man. It's crazy.
My fault.
No, you're good. You're good. It's crazy. Okay, so in order to get the cow, and we'll get to that in a second, the objective of the game is to outscore your opponent. So it's traditional in that way. The highest score wins. They play with what appears to be a red and white looking soccer ball that you can either run with. You can advance the ball by running with it, passing it backwards, kind of like in rugby, if I'm not mistaken, shooting it at the opposing team's goal, like soccer. And also, when you actually go to shoot, you can either kick the ball, you can throw the ball, or you can bounce the ball. It's just that the ball has to make it between the bottom of the goal wall and the top of the goal net, which is a pretty narrow sliver in comparison. Each scored point is worth 1 point, but Reese, if they miss, what happens?
You get a half a point.
The other team, you give half a point to the other team.
The other team gets a half a point.
Absolutely.
So you can't just be out there throwing Hail Marys.
You got to be organized with your shots. You can't be out there looking like these high schoolers who want to be Steph Curry. You can't just throw it up for no reason. Also, so with all that being said, it seems like the ball can kind of move around any direction, as long as you make it appropriate, and you can, like we said, kick, throw, or bounce the ball into the goal. We saw one game, and I think the score was 7.5-5 or something like that.
You talking about on the one on the episode?
Yeah, on the episode.
I don't think it was that close. I think it was like 7-2, maybe.
7-2.
Because remember that red team was pretty. That red team was pretty stout. The white team or blue team, I don't know. They said that black guy. And,
that's facts.
But yeah, they wouldn't. I don't know, bro. Like I've just never, I don't know, the French, but I guess I just think about guys wearing, little berets or whatever,
let me correct you right there because I don't want nobody to be insulted. Though it was Florence was founded by France, I believe. It's Italian. This sport is Italian.
Okay, so I don't mean no one.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah, Florence, Italy is the origin of this sport.
And I definitely don't want to be disrespecting none of them brothers. Hey, they legit, bro. Like I'm trying to tell you, they yoked up. They train for this all year.
It's different
for these 2 matches, a year to see if they win. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like it's almost like it's gang related.
Yeah,
if you try to do this in the United States, it would be considered a gang because Absolutely. You ain't getting nothing out of it. But once you are born in this region, it's split up in 4 different regions. There's 4 different teams, and once you're in that region, ain't no leaving. Ain't no leaving. Ain't no LeBron James.
You gotta rep the set. If you're born in one of these 4 districts and you want to play this sport, you cannot play for any other team outside of your district. You are a lifer. And the districts are color coded. There was the teams don't have names. They just go by their colors. They were the whites, the reds, the greens, and the blues.
I think it's blues, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the blues. But also
blacks.
What happened? I don't know. I'm not even gonna go there right now. But Reese, so I was asking about the score because that seems like a pretty low score given that you can kind of just advance the ball anyway. But from what we saw, Reese, why weren't people scoring very much in your opinion?
Hey, because they couldn't see straight. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like it was almost like if you the way that they broke down the strategy of the game almost. Okay, so you had midfield.
Mm-hmm.
You had your two lines of your big. You had your pawns. You know what I'm saying? Like these are your shoot. These are your hitters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the people that's going to take care of business. So pretty much, if you relating to football, these are like your offense and defensive line. You got them big boys in the trenches. And first thing first, the referee throw the ball up. They swing it. They try to connect with Jaws. We trying to connect with Jaws because we fight.
15 offensive and defensive linemen who hate each other on a basketball court, and when the ball goes up for a jump ball, they don't go after the ball; they go after each other. That's literally what it looked like,
bruh. I'm trying to tell you, like, it is no games. I want to hit you. I want to hurt you.
I want to end you.
I want to end you. And so who the ball gets fumbled around or whatever like that, and it finally goes back to the second line, which is like your offensive players. Okay, they get the ball and they just sit back because they are letting them hitters up there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, show me the way, brothers. So after they start squaring up, it's about 1-on-1s. It could be 2-on-1, but finally they get some of them down. And once you hit the ground, you cannot get back up until a goal is scored. Okay. So they're sitting back and they're trying to lead the way. You know what I'm saying? So after things start getting settled down and people are getting laid down, that's when they start weaving through there to try to get to the goal. But then you have the back line of brothers, and they are the goalies.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, and
they're Goliath.
And you still got to get through them.
Mm-hmm.
So ain't nothing easy. Ain't nothing fun. Ain't nowhere to hide.
It ain't sweet, y'all. People think it's sweet. It ain't sweet. This game ain't nothing sweet about it.
Hey, there ain't no. Hey.
So Reese, you kind of broke down the team formations, which I'm really glad you did. So by the authentic terms of this game, here's how the teams are set up. Reese is absolutely light. Wow. You are light, brother. You are light. But he's absolutely right. There are 4 teams, one for each district in Florence. And the teams are made up of this. There's 4 goalies, as Reese said. They hang in the back. They try to prevent the ball from crossing the power line or the goalie wall. There in front of them are 3 fullbacks. These are like your safeties in the NFL. They are the last option before you touch the red zone. They are there to knock your teeth out. They are there to put you down, and they are there to recover the ball. In front of them is a line of 5 quick, speedy little runners. These, ironically, are appropriately named halfbacks in this sport. And literally, they are there to pick the ball up and scoot it and advance it down the field as best they can, as quick as they can, without getting tripped, tackled, punched, choked out, smacked out, or killed. And then the big boys, or
you might as well say shot
at this point, right?
Yeah.
And the big boys in front, the line of 15, the guarders who literally almost can stand shoulder to shoulder across the field, that's your wall of 15 forwards. It is 15 of the biggest, baddest, burliest looking dudes you would never ever want to cross in a bar, excuse me. And they're called forwards appropriately. And basically their job is to be that wall. These are your offensive linemen. For if you're in the NFL, if you're trying to get the ball, these are your defensive linemen trying to get through and knock the ball loose out of someone's hands. So like Reese was saying, the game starts. There's no ceremony. There's no like shaking of hands. There's no coin toss. It's a ref who gets in there at half court or at midfield, throws the ball in the air as high as he can. The guys jump up. Some go for the ball. Some try to punch each other. But the first 10 minutes of every match, from what I witnessed, was like a 27-on-27 Royal Rumble in the sand and made the last man stand. It is brutal. So let's pause right there, Reese. Let's just talk about some of the stuff we saw when we were realizing how loosely played this game is. I'm gonna go first and say when that guy was trying to stand back up and the other guy runs behind him and just sticks his head almost in that low spine right above that buttocks area, and my man just crashed forward. I was like, "Oh,
he bent half backwards."
He bent half backwards, like bacon fresh off the grill, off the saute pan. Is that what you want to call that? But yeah, it was wild. It was wild. What else, Reese? What stood out to you, man? I was quivering the whole time. My bones were hurt.
I mean, I'm just in awe because before Monday, I have never ever heard one single mention of this.
No.
It's almost like Fight Club. That's exactly what it is. And I don't know, man. Like me personally, I've never been to one to ever want to fight. I have no need to fight unless I got to.
Yeah. Stand your ground, hold it down.
Yeah. But these dudes, they trained all year, and these are dudes that have regular jobs.
Right. What was the guy, the main guy with the bruise under his eye? What was he doing?
He was like in an office. I mean, he was corporate. I mean, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Corporate Joe looking dude. Yeah. M.M.A, Corporate Joe. Yeah,
they showed him on a regular day. He had a white button-up shirt on with some dress slacks and some shoes, and went hulked over a laptop all day. You know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a big dude.
Big old dude with a big old nasty black eye. At the office talking corporate straight as possible. And then on top of that, going home to his little lovely wife and this itty bitty little 3-year-old, it being like the sweetest, most timid father you will ever see.
Oh yeah.
And then they cut to practice and we see it.
Yeah. And bro, I mean, it's just wild, man. Because that's another thing, like they're doing this for a cow. They're doing it for something that they're not going to have anything to eat with it.
Wait, time out. So you mean to tell me they get drafted or recruited and they don't get paid? They got to work out all year long and they don't get paid.
I think they just did it for the love of the game, man.
Absolutely. They absolutely do not get paid. When Netflix said that, I was like, let me go see if they get some kind of like official kickback. No, it's literally listed as volunteer athletics in that city.
I want a sponsorship.
I didn't. If you think about it, I didn't see any banners, any logos on that field.
I mean, bro, like honestly, y'all, it was like an old school Coliseum style stadium.
Yes.
What no speakers, what no music, what no fog machine, what no lasers. It was bring your ass to the middle of the field.
That's exactly what it was. It was red sand. It was bleachers. It was a fence and 54 men with apocalyptic haircuts and apocalyptic muscles ready to kill each other.
It looked like right after they got and this is the way they were dressed. Right after they got done with the game, or this might be the halftime show, they go running with the Bulls.
That's what it looked like. It looked like that's a good point. It looks like they're about to go run with the Bulls or go and finish their stage act on Medieval. If that's even a business anymore. Yeah, what is Medieval Times? You remember that?
In Medieval Times, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the medieval, like the they have those festivals and stuff.
Yeah, the medieval festivals, reenactments, all of that. It's almost insane because you got these modern day super buff dudes with all these like crazy tribal tattoos, and it looks like they're really about to go warm up and go fight for a spot in front of Joe Rogan. And they're going to go, and then they put these court gesture looking costumes on and go out there and play like the roughest version of football I've ever seen. It is insane. But I digress. So, as Reese was saying, your main objective is to outscore the other team. And then Reese said, I said that they play once a year. Reese said that they play two. We're both technically right. The game is a series of 2 games or a playoff of 2 games that happens one time a year. So I don't know if they randomize the districts or if the champion and the runner-up from last year don't play each other in the first round the following year. I couldn't find that part out. But 2 teams play in this round. The other 2 teams play in that round. They beat the crap out of each other for 50 minutes. The 2 winners then advance. They get 9 days to recover, to replace injured players, to heal up as best as possible. And then they come back out on championship Saturday and they go do it again in front of the whole city. And when I say the whole city, y'all, we kind of talked about it during the Jay Bryant episode, how certain music just really gets you pumped up right away. And then that kind of went to a conversation later I have and made me think of those days before a football game where we're literally under the bleachers or in the locker room and we can hear the PA system playing our music and we just get charged up. It's almost like you are this walking ball of excitement, energy, anxiety, and fear, and you're about to go release it on the person in front of you. These people, seeing these men walk through this Florence, Italy street, and the camera's low, it's like at their low chest area looking up at them, and they look like gods as they walk in slow motion, and the whole city is crowding them and cheering them on. And you would think they were these glorified, high-paid athletes.
It's like like the college town, like the SEC football teams.
Yeah,
and they're coming into the stadium and they walk down that street, and you got the crowd on both sides. And it's like that. But these, I mean, I just don't know how you even prepare for that. Like that's like my thing. Are you friends with your other? Are you acquaintance with the other players?
You got to be, because Florence ain't the biggest city in the world at all. So you got to know these other people. You've probably played soccer against these other kids. You've worked with these other men now. And also, I think that one guy who was 40, who I laughed at when he was cutting that chicken, and then you were like, nah, bro, that's culinary tradition in certain parts of the world. He said that he had been doing it for years. So I imagine every team has their like guys that show up every single year. I'm pretty sure you become friends with some of those opposing guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I don't see how, like, bro, you just knocked my loose. And
I'll say this. I'll challenge that, Reese. In football, right? When you were on the field, if somebody really came and cleaned you up in the moment, and it wasn't dirty, they just beat you in that play, or they handled you all game. In the moment, it's frustrating and you're pissed. But after the game, you got a little opposing jersey respect for that dude, right or wrong.
I feel you. I mean, but that's football. and that's the thing. Football is a violent sport. And even UFC, I can see you shaking hands with your opponent. You know what I'm saying? Or wrapping up beforehand, because you are both trained professionals. But what this man just did to me out here, square up to me, just blindsided me, had his fingers in my jaw, fish hooking me, just humping me on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Once some of these guys got down, it's not like they got up and went to the next victim and they laid all on top of you.
Yeah.
And kept on pushing you, grinding you down into the ground. There wasn't no rest for you just because you got knocked out. Because I'm still here, brother.
And you know what, Reese? You bring up a good point. So those takedowns, right? Or as we call them in football, pancakes. Pancakes are key because they clear a path for your runner. But it used to be people would, I looked this up on one of the highlight videos, right? Or heard this on one of those highlight videos. It used to be that in the late 2000s or late 90s, I can't remember specifically, I don't be knowing. It used to be that if you pancake the guy, you would get up and then find somebody else to go pancake. But according to the rules, even though you're down, you are still an active player. So as runners would run by, they would trip them, they would lunge at them. You could do anything to take them down as long as you could do it from a position where you're still mostly on the ground. So in the modern version of the game, as they kept calling it, that's when you started to see a lot of the guys get a takedown and then, like you said, lay on top of these guys, still like fight these guys while they're down. And it was insane to see that. We were like, whoa, buddy's down. Why they still going at it? It's so you can't trip the runner when he's going by. But let's talk about what's legal, right? Which is almost everything in this sport. So from what I could gather, you can kick, punch, grapple, tackle, and slam a player. And when we say slam, we literally saw dudes get suplexed and land on their necks, and it was legal. You can do all those things. After an injury or a few deaths, they changed a couple of contact rules, and now they call this the modern version of the game. And here's what is now illegal in this game. out of everything we talked about, there's only two things you can't do. You can, and mind you, you can headbutt, you can choke, you can punch square in the face, you can punch from behind, you can sneak attack, you can do all of that stuff. What you can't do, exactly. What you can't do is you cannot kick somebody in the face, whether they are up, standing upright, or whether they are already on the ground. You cannot kick somebody in the face. And Reese, I don't know if you remember that clip where they first showed the contact, and that guy runs full steam ahead into that big man and just does that Mortal Kombat sidekick and just puts both his feet in that man's chest. I was like, what the heck? It's a war zone, man. It is 300, but with a little soccer ball in the middle, all the madness. So yeah, that is it. And then some of you may be asking, what is this game for? What's the point of it? And in America, big sports equal big money. Nope, you don't get paid. If you're not a professional, but you are amateur, big sports equals titleship that could eventually lead you to money. There's no trophies. There's no rewards here. The big victory, like Reese said earlier, is they literally go and they pick the fattest calf that they can find. They chop it up real time, grill it real time, and they spoil it with the victor. The victor gets to eat the best Italian smoked grilled beef that you can find, fresh off the farm. That is what you get for breaking your bones, breaking your pride, breaking your eye sockets, everything. But what every single opponent said when they really asked, well, why do you do this? What is this for? They said it's for the pride of the city and the pride of our history.
Tradition.
It's tradition. And if you slow down and think about it, anybody who's ever played amateur sports in the United States or any other place in the world, we all do it for that reason. That's half of it. The other half of it is you trying to go pro, but at one point, you're playing strictly to beat a team like Asheboro Comets. Shout out to the Wildcats. I saw what y'all did this weekend.
Hey, 06. What they say about 06?
What was they talking?
06. Oh, God, we won. I swear, Roy, that is their life. Shout out to Manny, your brother, man. I remember that, he did suffer that heartbreaking loss. You know what I'm saying? It did suck, okay?
Yeah.
The first thing I told Manny, because he played with us when we were there,
right?
I went up to him. I said, "Well, you know what you got to make him. You know what you got to do to shut him up." And that's exactly what they did. Is went and won the state championship.
Went and won the state champion after losing one game that year to our actual in-city rival, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Whatever, y'all. Hey, have that, because they'll be talking that for years.
Years. That's all they got. And Asheboro, I'm sorry. And when you can really remember the one time you beat a team, that does not sound good for your team. I'm gonna leave it right there.
And please believe, Asheboro, it's not a rivalry to us.
No.
How's that make you feel? It's not a rivalry. I never lost a football game in Randolph County.
Never. Not a one time. Not once.
Not a one time. Not a cougar. Not a comet. Not a tiger. No, a bulldog.
All right, that's so funny. But it's major facts. All right, let's get back on brand here. Yeah, as long as we don't bring up the Charlotte schools, the Mecklenburg. Ouch! It still hurts. But yeah, so in a nutshell, guys, that is the sport. This is insane to me. This is not anything I would ever want to play or participate in. I don't know if you can even call it playing, but if you have interest in learning more about CALCIO Storico, if I said it right that time. Mucho Kiko is what our coach told our exchange student one year. We've come a long way, people. We've come a long way. Y'all really don't know how much mud me and Reese are getting it out of right now. Y'all have no idea. But yeah, this was a collection of a couple of different sources. I got to honor National Geographic, the local.it, fightgamermedia.com, and then independent.co.uk, and then a really good YouTube channel if you're into football or soccer, as you want to call it. Go to Soccer Stories on My Goal, which is a YouTube channel. And last but not least, where it all started on this journey, which was Netflix's Home Game Episode 1. It's a must-see.
Go watch it, because whatever we described today is not giving it justice, because you ain't ready.
You're not ready for what we described. We gave y'all the tip of the iceberg, I swear.
Bro.
All right. But yeah, Reese, I want to take like these last 5 or 10 minutes and highlight one more thing that was in this episode or in this research that I came across. Somebody asked in like a forum for this sport, somebody basically said, hey, I'm going to go see a game and I wanted to know how dangerous is it? The collective response was, though no one has died since the modern version of this game, you are most likely going to see bones break, visible fractures, at least 6 to 7 men carried out on stretchers. I'm aiming low here. And you will also, in times past, we've seen people get hit so hard that their eye has fallen out of their head. And we've seen spleens removed in real time as a result of playing this game within the last, I don't know how many years they've been playing the modern version. Also, they said, if this is your first time going, do not wear white or sit close to the field because it is a bloody sport and you're liable to be stained. That
Bro, I'm not even worried about my shirt being stained. It's gonna be my mind. My mind is gonna be stained, brother. You going through some trauma.
You are not gonna be able to unsee some of this stuff, man. You are not gonna be able to unsee it. All right, y'all. But that is the meat and the potatoes, or that is the prize-winning cow, for lack of better terms here, of this episode. Reese, you got anything to say? Any other comments on this before we close this thing down?
No, just y'all go check out the episode, man. Come back to us and share some gems that you found that we didn't talk about, or if you want to elaborate more, or if you're a worldly person and you possibly been there. We don't know, or maybe you got some family over there. I don't know, but hey, bring it to the table.
Bring it to the table. We want to know, and I'm also curious to know how many of our listeners knew about this sport before this episode. Hit us up on the comment. Let us know. Hit us up on all of our social medias, as previously mentioned. I would love to know when and how you came across this sport, because this is wild to me. I wish we would have learned about this in school, because our dumb selves probably would have been stupid enough to try to play it. Mm. You would have got out of practice early that day, is what you're saying?
Hey, I don't know. Hey, I was probably dumb enough, but man.
Yeah, we would have tried it. I really feel like
but that's the thing, though. You really didn't. You didn't really see no young cats out there. Mm. It was old heads. 40. I mean, you talking about 40-year-olds out there.
Big old beer belly energy.
I mean, I don't know about that. I seen abs.
Oh no, the featured guys, the pretty boys, absolutely. It was some dudes out there shaped like me. I definitely, but they had shirts on. I respect that. I respect the dad buys with the shirts on. Go back and look, Reese. You'll see them. You'll see them. Hairline and waistline was a question mark for a lot of them brothers. They didn't highlight them though. All right, let's go ahead and close this episode out. Reese, I do not have a 5-on-5 for this episode. But I will say, if you guys want to see a new version of the 5-on-5, go and check out the bonus content, and I'm going to leave it there. And if you missed the 5-on-5, hit us up. We will definitely bring it back. We'll probably bring it back either way, babe.
Yeah, give us some questions. Hey, users submit some 5-on-5 questions.
I love that. I love that.
That's pretty good. Hey, quiz us. Quiz
us. Jay Bryant, we're looking at you. We know you got the questions. Biscuit, we're looking at you. We know you got the questions.
Lewis, we're looking at you.
Lewis, I know you got some good stuff, man. I know you got some good questions out there. Christy, where you at? I know you got questions. So hit us up. We're looking for those 5-on-5 this or that questions, and we will acknowledge that you sent them in unless you want to remain anonymous. Again, y'all, I got to thank you all for listening, rocking with us so far. We're trying to get better each episode. We hope we're doing that. And if you want to let us know that we are getting better each episode, make sure you hit us up on Spotify or on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. and let us know what's working, what makes you excited for the show. And if you're not feeling it yet, that's cool. Hit us up on the inbox so we can try to make it better before you make it a public critique of the show. Reese, you got anything you need to plug before we get out of here, man? I feel like there's some music all up in your house right now.
There's some music in the house. My wife just released when will this come out next? She just released on the 27th of August, I believe that was a Friday, a new single called Beauty Within. It's on all major platforms.
Who's your wife, though?
My wife is A.B. Hill.
How y'all not know that yet? Why I gotta ask that question? Y'all should have been knew that.
That's why I didn't want to say it, because I know they know.
Man.
A.B. Hill. Search Beauty Within with cadmium and scribe. Just search any of those words and it'll pop up. Doing some numbers right now. Really proud of it. Awesome. Definitely gonna keep on pushing it. So y'all check it out.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all go support the family. She is a part of the podcast through Reese. And obviously, you know, getting close, I feel like she's my cousin at this point. I really like those two. You know, I think I'll keep Reese around because he makes the show pretty good, I'll say. And when Amy's on, she makes the show even better. So yeah, y'all go and support. Make sure y'all check out her music. Let her know that you're rocking with it. And if nothing else, download it and share it with a friend so we can continue to see her reach that upper echelon, because she definitely works very hard.
Alex, how about you, to make it easier for these people, you can put it on the I Don't Be Knowing podcast playlist.
Absolutely. You will definitely find it on the I Don't Be Knowing podcast playlist. It will be the very last song because it is the very big bonus of listening to this show and finding out about it that way. So make sure you go to the I Don't Be Knowing playlist that just dropped probably an hour and a half ago, which is the sum of all the songs mentioned in the I Don't Be Knowing summer series, which again were episodes 13 through 17. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I've been Trox.
It's your boy, Reese.
Thank y'all for coming through. Let's be friends, people.
Let's be friends.
All right, y'all. Catch y'all on episode 19 where we discuss. I guess you got to show up to find out. And we out.
We out.